Okay, good evening. Welcome to Health and Education Committee meeting for March. And we have a quorum present, and I need a motion to adopt our minutes.
So moved.
And a second, please.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And we will go first to community care. Mr. King is with us, and Mr. King, welcome, and come forward and have a seat. We have your minutes in front of us here, and I know you have some things you want to address.
A couple of things I want to make you aware of. Our census continues to be very strong as far as the number of Part A residents that we have. That's a good thing for us. It's still running very strong through the end of March. On a financial side, just make you aware, the state contracted with MCOs to start managing TennCare for nursing homes. In Middle Tennessee, it started March the 1st. Two major companies, AmeriChoice and AmeriGroup, will be managing care in some senses, and primarily they'll be handling the money. And so nothing you need to be alarmed about, but for those that are cash-strapped, it's going to create some facilities throughout this state that likely have to deal with cash flow problems because of that. The state was they got great at it. You could bill by the 10th of the month, and you would be paid by the end of that month, first of next month. We're looking at probably a 45, 50-day timeline now. We're still trying to work the bugs out for our specific facility. But rather than billing one entity, now we've got to bill two entities, and their systems aren't the same. So you may be hearing of that through other buildings, other facilities, but we'll be able to weather it from a cash standpoint, but that is a big change. The biggest emphasis for that program called Choices is where people can be at home and receive subsidy for TennCare. And eventually, I think you'll probably see 10,000 people within this state be on that kind of program to where they're in essence receiving nursing home type care at home. And the ideal is that if they can do it cheaper at home, they're going to do it at home. But that has all kinds of opportunities that they'll have to deal with from a regulatory standpoint.
Bet you get down on a lot of lawsuits because when they fall at home, they're the responsible.
It'll change the climate eventually. The governor recommended that. The legislature passed it a couple years ago, and it's finally come into Middle Tennessee, and it goes into East and West Tennessee in January of 2011. From a building standpoint, we've been looking at considering demoing three oldest wings that we had that we moved residents out of in 2002. Those were built in 61 and 64. Reason we want to demo those is for future potential expansion. That's the area we'd like to build in. We've got some asbestos issues we need to discover what the magnitude of that is. The mayor recommended that we check with a company, and we checked with this other company, and their bid was actually much better. So we'll be looking at going with them for that asbestos testing, just to see how much asbestos we have in those three oldest wings. The demo side of that, when that's actually done, whenever that is done, it'll be protected from everybody else as far as a vacuum will be created on that wing, and they'll abate it where nobody else can be affected by it. But that's the reason we're looking at abatement, is to demo it somewhere down the road. We've got an area that we use on one of those wings for processing of personal clothes laundry that we need to move off of those three wings just to demo. And so we submitted plans about 6 months ago to the state to do about a 550 square foot addition to our current laundry so we could move it to that area. The state, after our March meeting did finally send us approved plans, so we'll be looking at bidding that out, and I'll present that to the board. If the board approves that, there will not be any county money used to do that. But just want to make you aware that little addition is being planned for that reason. Last thing I want to make you aware of, we did purchase a new lawnmower. You may have not even remembered that account, but we had a equipment account that the county funded about 10 years ago. I think it was $12,000 for 6 months, and there was about $7,000 of that still there, and we used that to purchase a new lawnmower, which I feel like met the spirit of at least why the county made that contribution to the facility that many years ago. The lawnmower we had currently used 11 years had several major repairs in the last 2 years, and I just felt like we needed to go ahead and deal with that. We mow 22 acres, and you're going to wear a mower out with 22 acres. Any questions?
Any questions for Director King?
I move we accept his report.
Second. Discussion? All in favor? Signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Any opposition? Of course, there is none. Thank you, Director King. Appreciate you being here tonight. Good luck with your new
See you
lawnmower.
next month.
That should be fine. Next on the agenda, Health Department. Garrett, if you come forward, please. And I know you have some things tonight that you and I agreed last week that we would discuss really happy news. So
That's right.
we're very interested in happy news. This is a happy committee. So,
In other words, the mental health of our citizens has improved.
well, I think we're in pretty good shape everywhere.
And we're not in the red. That's right. Just happened to be the color folders we had. First, I'd like to just make a quick announcement. In honor of Public Health Week, which is the first full week in April, the state has given us permission to waive the fee that we charge for vaccinations for children needing to enter school. So we're doing something in coordination with the schools, both city and county. I've talked to both their coordinated health directors, and we're going to have a immunization day at the health department. It will be the 7th, April the 7th, from 8 to 3. There'll be an all-call go out to all the parents, because this will be only for kids who are entering the 7th grade and children who are entering kindergarten. Those are the two who are eligible for the free immunization day. And it will be from 8 to 3, April 7th. And we'll have it at both health departments in Murfreesboro and in Smyrna. If you have any questions, you can call the health department. That number is 898-7880. 898-7880. And again, that's for children entering kindergarten and children entering 7th grade. We will have all their vaccination needs for them that day, and it will be free of charge. That's a one-time waiver that we get usually during Public Health Week to do, and that's what we decided to use it for those. There are new requirements that have come out for both of those groups. Children entering 7th grade now have to get a Tdap, which is a tetanus with pertussis, and they also have to get a second varicella. Varicella is the medical word for chickenpox, so they need a second chickenpox vaccination. And that's a new requirement that the state has just implemented this year. And with kindergarten, they're also going to have the 2 varicellas, the hepatitis A, and all their regular entering kindergarten shots that they need. Some children will already have these. These have been recommended for a while, so some children may already have these shots, and if they do, then they don't need to come. This is just for people who haven't gotten the shots that were recommended, because now they're required. On the left-hand side of the folder, I just put a little packet in there about a news release of reports that came out in the middle of February. These were county health rankings, and if anybody's interested in checking this out themselves, it's www.countyhealthrankings.org. Again, it's countyhealthrankings.org, and you can read all about your specific county, Rutherford. And we did very, very good on this. Overall, out of 95 counties, we ranked third healthiest. So that was my good news I got to share today. I was so excited. Of course, there's always room for improvement. And in the report, it tells you when you click on it, you can read a little snapshot, which I've included for you guys. The first page, it just kind of shows you that, of course, we're still having issues with adult smoking, adult obesity, some of those things that we're targeting and working on. And then one of our areas where it showed that we really needed some improvement was what they deemed in this report as physical environment. And there were 4 categories under physical environment: air pollution ozone days, access to healthy food, and liquor store density, how many liquor stores in the community. And we were a little low on access to healthy food. We were a little high on liquor stores, So these are some of the things that several groups in the community are working on. One of the things we're doing is working with Coordinated School Health. We're working with the Rutherford County Wellness Council, the Department of Tennessee Department of Health. We're all kind of coordinating together to use this data. This is the first time it's ever been nationwide. Every state got it broken down by county, just like we did. And it's the first time this data has ever been available. So we're going to use this data to try to come up with some goals on things, how we can improve in areas where we're showing that we need to improve. And how can we keep the good that's still there, keep that going. Any questions about that?
This entire county health rankings and everything is at this website right here?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All
Much
the
more
information
detailed.
we have.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Much more detailed information. I just kind of gave you guys a quick snapshot of it. But again, if they go to www.countyhealthrankings.org, you can look up every little detail about it. This was something that was federally mandated to be done. And the Robert Woods Johnson Foundation is the one that funded for it. Other questions about the report?
So third
Yes, sir.
out of 95.
Yes, out of 95 counties.
Williamson was 1, Sumner.
It was 2, yeah. There's the top 10 were Williamson, Sumner, Rutherford, Moore, Blunt, Wilson, Franklin, Chester, Knox, and Montgomery.
Well, I think that's pretty exciting news, Kate. Truth of the matter.
Yeah, I was excited to see it. I think a lot of that has to do with we have a very supportive total community that really believes in supporting health, and our health department, and that has made a big impact in what we've been able to do. Just having the support of this committee alone has helped, because you have somebody to go to get ideas and see the bigger picture. Also, just community planning. I've been talking to the planners about how can we change the way we're planning our community and make it more where you can walk to the grocery store and those things that we did in other years. How can we make our community more healthy in that way? And it's something that our planners, both city and county, are very aware of, something they're trying to work towards. And so that's something, as a health director, you don't really think about, I need to go to the planning commission meetings and I need to know those commissioners and but that really ties into changing, and that's one of the things we're working with them as well, to try to make an active living neighborhoods, active living community.
Anything you want to address on your encounter report? Or?
No, sir. I think we're pretty much staying about the same as we were this time last year.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have one more thing about amendment money stuff.
Okay, let's get this report
Okay.
approved.
I move we approve.
Thank you, Dr. Bullen. Second, Ms. Cook. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposition, no. Okay, thank you. Ms. Gary.
Yes, sir. And one more thing. Every year, historically, the county and state have an agreement on funds and supporting the health department. And every year we sign a contract to that. I need to get your approval to send this through the process so that it can be signed. This is for the fiscal year we're in now, this contract. Yes, we've already been paying it. It's already been going, but historically it's always late, and this year it was even later because the state has taken on a new system of financial accounting called Edison. And I'm sure some of you have heard of it or may not, but it's basically doing all their financial stuff through this one system, and it delayed it a little bit. So it is here a little bit late, but this is we've already been paying it. It's already been working fine. We just now need to get the signature of the mayor by sending it through the committee. So,
Mr. Chairman, I move we accept her proposal to move this on.
Thank you, Dr. Bullen. Second, Ms. Gooch. Does the voice vote, yes or no?
Voice is fine. This does go to budget, right?
yes.
Need to call roll? No? Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? No, there is none. Here, thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.
We'd like to see you.
Yes,
and
have a good night.
I think probably congratulations, Earl.
Thank you.
Because you were voting on it.
Very nice. Special Projects Report, Ms. Jolly is with us.
She's always been with us.
She's all brought out two sick ones,
Yeah, it was.
and she was not with us.
She was with us in thought.
Well, she was. Ms. Nolan filled in admirably. School building program, status report, and et cetera. Ms. Jolly, take it away, please. And welcome.
I guess you noticed this time, maybe you did, that I've taken all the projects out of the report that we're done with, so I wouldn't have to keep looking at that mess. So it's reduced the report down a lot. I've had no amendments or anything, so there's not been any, just paying of bills.
General public needs to understand we've had this report for some time, thanks to the efficiency of Ms. Jolly. My question would probably, Mr. Sandy will not be with us this evening on Brown's Chapel and that $1 million. It's unobligated, but we'll save that for him. Public needs to know too, Oakland Middle, it's 62% complete, and Whitworth, Buchanan is 58% complete. So that's excellent. And Ms. Jolly, one other thing, do you have a typewriter with larger type for pages?
I want you to tell me that you don't need that page.
This is going to continually get smaller until finally okay.
I can't see it either. I'm sorry, y'all had
Well,
to
I'm having increasingly more difficulty as
I'm impressed.
my longevity on the commission. But okay.
I'll try to work on it.
All right, thank you so much. Any questions for Ms. Jolly? And if not, I need a motion to approve. I think Ms. Cook beat him to it, I think. You second, Dr. Bull?
I will second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, if there's no discussion, please say aye. Aye. And opposed, none. Thank you, Ms. Jolly. Well done, as always. At the invitation of the mayor and myself, Recreation Director for the county, Ben Cates, has joined us this evening. And Mr. Cates, come forward, please.
Thank you, sir.
And welcome. Before you start, Mr. Cates, we'll tell the committee that the school board will not be with us this evening. And I suspected that, spring break week, et cetera. And they did not have an amendment this evening anyway, so we're in good shape there. But I put them on just in case if they had something at their meeting late last week, so they're not with us.
Well, we don't get spring break.
Well, I'm aware of that, and that's indeed unfortunate, but at any rate, Mr. Cates, welcome. Mr. Cates is a longtime personal friend, of course, of many of us in this room, including myself, and has been Recreation Director for, are we moving up to 4 decades, Mr. Cates. That's
Close.
We're getting there. But it does a terrific job. But would like for him to briefly review the recreation in Rutherford County and your effect on many communities. Mr. Cates, please.
Spring break, we have spring break on Cripple Creek every week, so share that with you. I just want to first recognize where this came from when my meeting with Mayor Burgess a few weeks ago. He asked me we talked about how to maybe talk a little bit more about recreation, and he suggested that I come and meet with this board and committee, and so anytime that I get a chance to talk about recreation, I go, as Jeff knows, and I'm very appreciative of being able to be here and meet with you all tonight. I want to first recognize my board, Conservation Board. Jim Estes is the chairman of that board, and we have Dan Mitchell, Bill Strang, Clarence Brandon, and Chuck Clark. And we have a real good board, and we meet every third Thursday of the month. And it is, I will say, in my 38 years of recreation director, that's one meeting that I look forward to and going to. So it's a good working relationship between myself and this board. Let me break our recreation program really down into 2 phases. The summer recreation, which we started with many years ago before we got into our winter program, goes in the summer months, June and July. We have an 8-week program. We meet 4.5 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And what I furnish as a recreation director is a playground leader / gym director, and the basic recreational equipment that particular playground will need. We are fortunate to have people that work in the schools. The supervising principal at the particular schools, I try to let them be a part of selecting who works at that particular area, and that's very important. They know the children, they know the community, and they know the parents of those children, and they're well accepted in our program. Every community is different. Every community has its own identity, and so different recreation equipment is used at different places. Arts and crafts, passive recreation, dodgeball, kickball, and everything that you can imagine. Of course, the pretty days we have outdoor playgrounds at our areas, at the schools, and when it gets hot, of course, a lot of times they'll move inside and we'll do inside activities. Some of the recreation directors, recreation playground leaders, they will do different things. They'll have, I can think of at Buck Allen Elementary, I walked in one day and they were having a talent show. Every place has its own identity, and I think that's good. We let our children pick and choose. During the school time, they have a more structured program, and we like to do what the children like to do. We let them pick and choose the type of activities that we do. Some of the areas, like for example, Clarence Brandon at Kiptrell, on Fridays they go swimming at the pool here in the city. Again, Buchanan, they like to go bowling sometimes, and I'll furnish a bus and bus driver and take them to do that. So they do different things. We have a ball league that my league commissioner, Rod Edwards, who teaches at Blackman Middle and does an outstanding job. We have 7 communities that participate in that, and we'll have anywhere from 70 to 90 teams in that ball league. Coach pitch, softball, and baseball. And the thing that I'm proud of here is that we do all of that with one salaried person, and that's Rod Edwards. He starts meeting in January and February with these communities. They've had their second meeting, turn in rosters. He will complete a master schedule for all those communities, and then he'll oversee that all summer, and then, of course, the tournaments he'll organize, and he does just a tremendous job with that. The community people get the fields ready, line it off, mow it, cook the hamburgers to pay for the umpires and the electricity, and that's a plus in our program because we have community people that are working hard to take care of those facilities and run those programs and save tax dollars, and I'm very proud of that. In our winter program, we generally start back in October and go through April. It's the same type of format, except, of course, we work around school hours. We generally start, we have 3-hour blocks, and most of the time it's either maybe right after school from 3 to 6. It may be at night. It may be on weekends. Again, that depends on the community and the needs of that community. We try to involve more adults with our winter program as we can, adult leagues, adult nights, and things such as that. I was down at Laverne High School the other night, and they have one night a week of just adults, and they can come and play and walk around the track and do whatever they want to do as far as physical fitness, and they have a good time. Gary Miller told me one guy showed up at the younger group 2 nights a week, and he was trying to keep up with the younger group, and he pulled him over, and he told him about the adult night, and he thanked him when he came to the adult night because they were men of his age, and he could keep up with them. And his wife, I think, came that night, and she was walking around the upper level of the inside gymnasium, and it's a good feeling to see the taxpayers that built those facilities get to come back and use those facilities. That's a selling point of our program. I feel like if they can use those facilities, their families, themselves, whatever the case may be, when they're called upon to do something at that school, whether it be take up tickets, chaperone a dance, or whatever the case may be, they'll feel like more a part of that school and probably say yes when they're asked to do things such as that through our recreation program. In the winter months, we do have junior pro basketball. We have several communities that participate in that. I have a person at each school that will coordinate that, and they will get coaches and scheduling and everything, and we have a real good junior pro basketball program. I've got 3 different communities that are talking to me now about adding junior pro in their area, and I talked to the mayor about that the other day. Eagleville has the junior pro football, and they're very active and very proud of their football program out there, and we do junior pro football at Eagleville. I do not duplicate what the municipalities do. In other words, the city of Murfreesboro, the city of Smyrna, the city of Laverne, and Eagleville. Sometimes a lot of things that they have, I take a step back. For an example, in the summer months, I open the gym at Smyrna High School. In the winter months, the Parks and Recreation of Smyrna open the gym, and I back off and they use it. So we have a good working relationship there. Publicity-wise, we have a website. The website was developed by Dick Conley, who teaches at Wilson Elementary. Our website is rutherfordcountyrec.org, and it is linked to the county website, and that's very good for new people that move into the county. They can pull that up and see when our playgrounds and facilities are open, when we have ball leagues, when the sign-ups are, and that's been very helpful. Daily News Journal, most of the time through Sam Stockard, gives us publicity summer and winter. And we always get free publicity from my cohort and your chairman of this board through WGNS. He generally gives me a couple of free interviews during the year. I don't know what Dr. Bullen I'll do now since he's not a part of that organization. Maybe he'll help me still get that. I don't know.
I'm sure that the owner of the station would be glad to pull out the old tapes and play them again.
They'll probably still be relevant to that. We have a good working relationship with the superintendent and school board, with our supervising principals at all the schools that we participate in, and with the community leaders. I think that is very, very important. As I said earlier, we are using existing facilities. We don't have a lot of administrative costs. We try to put all of our money into our programs that will benefit young and old alike. I'll just give you just a thumbnail sketch. Last summer, our total attendance at our 20 playgrounds was a little over 18,000. We had close to 900 participants in our league play in the summer. This past winter, we had over 15,000 participants in our 14 areas. with an average attendance of each gymnasium of over 1,000. And we had close to 700 people participating in our junior pro programs, which is good in numbers. I don't do a lot of numbers, although I keep up. I mail it out to my board. I want to have it to show people what we're doing, but I'm more about the smiling faces that I see when I go to a playground or a gymnasium, and I see young people, and all ages really, but I see young people having a good time. I feel like in my career as teaching and coaching that a lot of young folks are in hard situations, and it makes me feel good when I go into our areas and I see children having fun. And that's what we're all about in County Recreation. Mr. Chairman, I'll be glad to field any questions that anybody would have. I just gave kind of a thumbnail sketch of what we try to do. Dr. Bullock.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Cates, that was a marvelous rebuttal to that handful of citizens out there who refuse to support schools and the facilities that we build. You gave a good example of people of all ages using those facilities.
Amen.
The schools aren't just for everyday academic activity. They're used by civic groups. They're used in all the things that you're talking about. In Rutherford County has a reputation across this state for recreation programs, good schools, fine school facilities, and for the people in this community who have supported it, didn't mind paying an occasional little tax increase to have it. The benefits are like a ripple effect, and they just keep coming on. And I want to thank all those citizens out there who have supported you and your program and have supported us up here when we were trying to build these facilities and keep them going. But there's always a handful in every community that wouldn't spend a nickel on their fellow citizens. Thank you.
I don't believe you mentioned the pool, Laverne.
We used to, when Oakland Riverdale first opened, we've been in both of those schools since its existence. We brought kids into those two pools at the beginning. We did that for many years until our attendance dropped off, that we really financially felt like it was not effective. But we do open Laverne Pool, and there's a very good reason for that, because there's a lot of homes around close to that area where people can ride bikes and walk over there even. And our attendants and my board wanted to try to keep that pool open for that simple fact. They could come, they could swim from 12 to 5 for $1, and we still open Laverne Pool. George Parrish runs that pool for us and really does a good job, and we think it's viable to keep that pool open still.
I know they had the women's swim group over there.
They do.
Oh.
Ms. Opencart did that. I don't know whether she still does that or not.
It was the older women who would go over there and swim and exercise.
Yeah.
Very successful.
Very much.
Mr. Williams?
Well, I just wanted to follow up with the report that he gave to, it's probably one of the many contributors to why we're third in the state of the healthiest county. So, yeah, it takes all of these things that Dr. Bullen was saying to make the county, education, your health and that, and with your program, you're doing both.
Right, right.
Any other questions for Director Cates? Okay, he's not submitting a report, but a verbal report, so I think we approve.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your time, and
Thank you.
Again, I always enjoy talking about recreation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cates. A couple other things now. The next two meetings, it says discuss, but we'll be with Mr. King at Community Care on Tuesday, April 27th at 5:30. Mr. King has already confirmed that. And, Vicki Taylor says that's where we're supposed to go, so I think we better go. We'll be in big trouble.
Yes, you will.
And then on May 25th, 5:30, school board, we meet with the budget committee and the school board, and they go over their budget, obviously, with us. And that takes place in the school board room there. So that's in May.
Mr. Chair,
Sir.
When will we get a copy of the budget?
Well, now that I do not know.
Well, it'll be a good while because they
That's
have
going to
to
be prior to the meeting.
Yeah, he'll instruct them, but we always try to tell them, like it's been in the past, that you have something in our hands before we go into that meeting, because we have to move that budget out of there that night, so
Right.
he'll get the privilege of being on top of them, moving them along there till they get it out.
I will call and demand, and then if I have to, I'll beg. I'll see when we can get that, and you're right. We always, I hadn't thought about it, we're 2 months away, but we always do have copies.
We'll have our meeting out there, right?
Right, on the 25th of May.
Uh-huh. And then it's school board on the 25th.
27th at Community Care, April, and the 25th at school board.
Last couple of years when we met at the community care, I know that Commissioner Cook cooked. Is that going to happen again this time?
Oh, sure. There's the chief over there helping us.
I didn't know if I need to come hungry or
No,
not.
you don't come hungry. You come hungry.
Let us make it clear that there will not be 1 cent of tax
That's
money
correct.
spent feeding
Thank
this
you.
group.
Well, that's why I said,
Not one half.
Not one half.
Not anybody
Not one
whatsoever.
meal.
That's right. Free post or any other kind.
If I cooked it out there, you all wouldn't come. You don't come to mine.
Okay, clearly we're down to any other business, and I assume we just covered that with whatever Ms. Cook is going to cook for us, so. Is there anything else before we adjourn? And no, and we are adjourned.